If you make these 5 mistakes like all expats do, you're gonna feel lost, frustrated, and lose time and money. Don't make these mistakes. I'm Brian Nguyen. I've been an expat foreigner here for almost a year in Ho Chi Minh, Saigon. I'm actually half Vietnamese, so despite that, I still feel like a foreigner to them, but I've seen the mistakes foreigners, expats make here time and time again, and I wanted to share the things I've learned from hearing from their stories and sharing it off to you guys so you don't make the same mistakes like they did and have a more fun, adventurous, simple, stress-free life. Let's get into it. Mistake number 5, expats don't keep their boots on the ground here long enough. Usually expats just stick here for a little bit and then, they go to the more touristy places. Now, in those areas, it's a little bit more overpriced, a lot more people, seeing the statues, seeing the gardens. Think of it more like District 1, where most of the scams are happening. But in those touristy places, you don't really get to feel the full sense of Vietnam, so they miss out on a lot of different opportunities. Opportunities being the metro that was just built this year that lets you explore all different areas, all different districts at such an affordable price. My favorite personally is all the way out in Suy Ten. I've been living here for so long that my Vietnamese still can't pronounce it properly, but it's at the last station on the line, Suy Ten Terminal. Pretty much that's out in District 9, and that's one of the largest theme parks, amusement parks in all of Saigon, Suy Ten Amusement Park. But expats won't be able to really explore and see that area if they don't really venture off in new places or try new things like the metro and then really see Vietnam, because I didn't even know about that ever since I got here. But the only way I knew about it was just asking the locals and asking, okay, what's like the cool places to go where locals like to visit and go check out? And that's how I ended up finding a new place that most expats don't really get to see. Number 4, expats make in Vietnam, and it's they don't keep an open mind. It's so easy to compare your life back home to here in Vietnam, so it's even more important to have an open mind because you might not like how things are done here. Maybe it's too fast, maybe it's too slow, and you can and will get annoyed by just how things are done here in Vietnam. But the reality is, you have to adjust. The reason why is because you're in a completely new country with a new way of life. You can't expect all the upsides without any of the downsides. Seen it time and time again, talking to different expats, people who have lived here for a long time, 5 years, they're still complaining about why Vietnam is like this, why Vietnam is like that. And then they go to the weekend time comes, they go to the bars, hang out with their friends, and they're still complaining and talking about why isn't Vietnam towards my home country? Why isn't it like that? And then you feel like this sense of negativity, coming from them. However, on the other side, somebody who has come here same time frame, 5 years, maybe they're retired here, maybe they're, married to a local Vietnamese woman here, and they understand Vietnam is not perfect. It has its ups and its downs, but they still enjoy the people, the culture here. Maybe they, sit down in one of those, the pho shops, on the stands on the side, and they're sitting down on those little like red stools like the locals do. Or maybe they're traveling to a whole new area inside of Vietnam that not many tourists or people go to. Or maybe they're just, enjoying their time and then spending it with like other Vietnamese locals, trying and to speak the language. You can see a massive contrast between the two. Like, you've noticed like that individual who really get involved in the culture, you can see that they're like really enjoying their life here in Vietnam and really like making it a home compared to, somebody who's complaining and understanding, oh, it's not like my home country back home. So by keeping an open mind to how Vietnam operates, how it works with the people, with the culture, you'll adapt much faster and you'll enjoy Vietnam much more. Moving on to mistake number 3, getting skin taxed. It's true, it's unfortunate, but you're getting screwed. kind of. In Vietnam, a lot of prices are not set in stone. Vietnam is a negotiation country, from buying clothes on the street, from manual labor services, from gym memberships to renting apartments. All of those can be negotiated. The question is, why would you be getting skin taxed? Are Vietnamese people racist? No, but it's rather what they can charge you at the highest price compared to what they would charge the normal local price. The reason being is because same language. A normal local person who can communicate with them properly can actually go verify and find out if what the price they're, negotiating or telling them is actually true by, asking other locals around, reading review boards online, and making sure this is verified. Comparing that to, an expat coming over, foreigner coming over, wanting to do the same services, they're gonna try to charge you a higher price because they can, and they want to see what they can get away with, because they know the fact is you're not able to speak the language, and who can you verify with? Who can you talk to make sure that, oh yeah, this price is proper, this is what normal local people pay? You can't. I made that mistake when I first got here to Vietnam, and I'm half Vietnamese. They can tell by my face, obviously, but the language part mine's terrible, but it still even happens to me even being half Vietnamese. Pretty much, I just got here to Vietnam and I was looking for gym memberships. And, I was finding out this gym, and we got to negotiation prices, and pretty much we settled on a price of 9 million VND. Now, I was thinking I got a sweet deal. They were telling me, oh, it's a special holiday, a special season. Oh, it's just a one-time price now. You got to pay now. Oh man, such a sweet deal. And I was feeling good about it because, they were really amping me up, making me get this sweet deal. And I signed for 1 year. A month and a half in, I get settled in. I'm talking to one of the locals in the gym who come there frequently. I'm making friends with him. He speaks really good English, and we got to a point in our conversations where I'm asking him, oh, hey man, I'm just curious, what are you spending here at the gym? And to my surprise, I told him 9 million VND, and he asked me, dude, I'm spending 7 million VND for 1 year. And he asked me, why are you paying that much? And my answer was, I don't know. And I asked him the benefits. It was literally the exact same. Now, were they being malicious, being, skin tax? I don't know, maybe, but they just got away with me just paying a higher price. Important lesson I learned: negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. It's important. On to the second mistake expats make. It's not having health care. I've seen it time and time again talking to dozens of expats, and a lot of them do not have health care. Now, if you work for a big company, a corporation that move you here, yeah, they'll help you with the basic healthcare plans. But for the ones who retire here, relocate here, or even want to make a life here, the vast majority do not have health care. I asked them why, because a good percentage of them were, hitting up there in age, in their 40s, their 50s, and their 60s. So I found out why. The reason is they didn't even know they could get local healthcare service insurance here. The assumption was always, oh, you had to be a Vietnamese citizen, you had to have a company sponsor and actually get you healthcare plans for you, or you had to be a long-term residency holder. So because you're, long-term, they would prefer you rather than a 90-day visa to get healthcare for you, which is far off from the truth. And how do I know this? It's because there's a lot of insurance brokers out here in Ho Chi Minh City and Saigon, specifically helping out foreigners to be able to get health insurance. And even if the local insurance isn't really your vibe, isn't what you're feeling, they also have a massive bundles of plans for international health insurance as well that is applicable to a lot of the major hospitals or even local, health centers here that you can use as well. Because I remember I was also in the same shoes. I I actually didn't have health insurance my first, 5 months coming here, mostly because I didn't even know it was possible for me. I was always thinking, I'm on a short-term visa here. So because of that, I'm thinking, okay, they want somebody long-term, that they won't take my money and, supply me for health insurance. But I don't know, just on a whim, I wanted to go check it out. So I went to District 1 and I talked to one of the health insurance brokers, and I'm really, telling him my situation, how I'm able to, live here, and then is health insurance even a possibility? Well, he said yes, and he explained to me the whole process, and hey, here's the health insurance plans, here's this and that, and I was like, oh, great. But I told him, but I'm on a short-term visa here. Is that still okay? And with a blank face, he says, yeah, sure, why not? And at that point, I was just like questioning. I was like, hey, are you sure? It's like short term. He's like, no, we have a bunch of foreigners who have short-term plans here. And there's also, at the same time, he showed me a bunch of internationals. So even if I didn't want the locals, I can just go international. So yeah, now I can just say I have health insurance now after, many months without it. And I'm paying at a much cheaper rate compared to, my gosh, what I'm paying in the States. It's like an arm and a leg just to get health insurance, not even for the surgery. So, all right. Oh. I'm gonna do this last one on a bench because the biggest adjustment you're gonna be making in Vietnam is that it is hot, like hot during the day. I mean, now it's actually really nice. In the shade, the wind's blowing a little bit, and obviously the nice scenery around is nice as well. But if you're out the shade, no, it's hot. It's really hot. But final mistake when expats come here is finding places to live and getting lied to. The good old bait and switch with property. When you're looking for places to live here, you can use websites like batdongsan.com.vn or Facebook. I highly recommend using Facebook as the main source of finding apartments, rentals here, because Facebook here is the most predominant use of social media, communications, networking, friends, as connecting with Vietnamese people and foreigners as well, and things to do. Even when you're using Facebook though, you'll see, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom apartments, even penthouses, but only the picture. And that's when the bait and switch happens. Because when you find an apartment you like, it looks nice and everything, you might ask for some more pictures, but they pretty much kind of show you the same stuff, which could be highly edited or shown you at the beginning stages or at a time when it did look nice and the pictures aren't as updated. So their really response to you is, oh, you have to come see it in person. And at that time, it might look completely different than what it did online when you saw it on Facebook. But this is where the problems can occur, is that if you've already made it that far along the way, looking for a place, then showing up to make sure it's properly, what it looks like on Facebook, and it doesn't, they're thinking in their head, well, you've already made it this far, so they're gonna put some pressure onto you to, well, hey, let's sign the lease, or tell you certain things like, oh, it's only gonna be open for this amount of time period, oh, you should sign it now, it's like a good deal, a good price, you won't find this anywhere else in all of Ho Chi Minh, Saigon, which is not true. There's so many apartments around, and it's constantly being opened up, right? So because of that, you might rationalize in your head, well, I do need a place to live. It's only 70, 80% of what the picture was. Maybe I should go. But the reality is, you're settling. And I want to ask you, did you really come to Vietnam just to settle? These are the top 5 mistakes I've seen expats make time and time again. And yeah, causes a lot of frustration on them, a lot of money loss, time loss, and ruins their feeling of Vietnam. Don't make these same mistakes, and you're gonna enjoy your time here in Vietnam much, much more. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you on the other side of the world.